Welcome to Kamp-A-Holics.
I'm Christy.
I'm Mandy.
And I'd rather be camping.
All right. Today we have a special guest.
The man, the myth, the legend.
That's right.
Bring it, Brian.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a bonus episode. Bonus Brian. We're going to talk about we have an anniversary coming up with our son and his passing, and that's going to be October 6th. So we wanted to bring my esposo to the studio today and just go over some camp stories surrounding him. So, yes, very, very sad, emotional, but we're trying to stay positive and keep it an uplifting thing.
Yeah, and I think the upcoming camping trip is going to be one to remember for sure.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Right. So, yeah, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Brian Nevin.
And how many days has it been since your last camp trip?
Too long.
There
If
you
I can't
go.
think
Yeah.
of it, it's been too long.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. And how many days to your next camp trip?
2.5.
Okay.
3.
2.5.
Love it. Love it. Well, we're so glad you're a Kamp-A-Holic, and thank you for joining us in the studio today.
Yeah. So, Brian, do you recall the first time you went camping?
The first time I went camping?
Yeah.
That would have to be with my parent or my dad and my brothers years ago.
Uh-huh.
We used to do a lot of camping on Four Peaks. Was a place that we used to go to all the time.
Okay.
And we went through different types of vehicles and different types of setups throughout the years also.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And did that develop your love for camping?
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
That was the little seed planted inside the little Brian body that grew into this great big camper today.
Well, I think
that we know.
Mandy sprouted that, right?
I watered the camping seed and yeah. Awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a good family thing, I think. Like, we talk about this a lot, and I think that's kind of the beautiful part about camping is there's really no distraction. So you get that kind of I get that time together where you really do kind of build and create those memories that you'll have forever.
Definitely.
Yep, for sure.
So are there any main stories that come to mind that you want to, off the bat, just talk about with camping with Jay? I know I have a few things to point on, but I didn't know if there was like one specific that you're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I was going through some pictures last night going back to 2005 because Jay was born in February of 2005. And I had found his first camping trip, which was in July.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was just
You wasted no time.
oh, yeah.
Get them started early.
I love it. I love it.
And we did that with both kids. But he was just like a little guy. Well, I say a little guy, but he was like, he had some muscle and
He was a big little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just not forget the part that I almost fainted because how big he was. But anyway.
So that's a story for sure. But yeah, so that was his first trip in 2005, and I was able to find. And then throughout the years, we had done a lot of camping.
Sorry, folks. Hold on one second.
We're right back to where we were. So there was this one fun trip I remember that was along the 300 Rim Road. And we had gotten there, and I don't remember what kind of gear we were camping in at that time. It was probably still tents. And we were just unloaded the kids from the vehicle and just let them do their thing. And I look over at Jay, and he's over by the campfire, and I'm like, he's chewing on something. And I'm like,
no.
what the heck is he chewing on? So I asked Mandy, I said, hey, did you give Jay something to eat or something? She says, no. And we went over there and checked it out, and the little guy had found a piece of glass around the campfire.
Yeah. It was not uncommon for Jay. I think we mentioned this once before, but it was not uncommon for him to store food in his cheeks when he was that little. I don't know if it was like a life preservation thing that he thought I might not get fed in the next 20 minutes, but
he was just at that age where he was so young where they're still like exploring their world by putting stuff in their
Yeah,
mouth.
for
so.
sure. I still do that.
Chrissy, what are you chewing on over there?
Some I found on the ground.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy because so many things could have gone wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, and that's like, we talk about this all the time. That's another reason why you shouldn't even be bringing glass containers camping in the first place.
Or if you do, just be responsible and throw
Yeah,
it in
just
your
clean
trash
it up.
can.
It's easy.
Right.
Yeah, it's not gonna burn.
Yeah. Yep. So another picture I came across last night was Diamond Point. You remember going there?
Yes,
Where's
Diamond
that?
Point Dig.
Yeah. So it's along the Tano Village Road
Okay.
as you're going up towards the rim off of the 260.
Yeah.
And you could take that in there, and there's a turnoff that takes you to this Diamond Point dig area. And what it is just these like crystals that are in the ground and in the rocks and stuff. And it's got a sign posted.
Wow.
And we used to take the kids there a couple times when they're young. And I would give them a hammer and safety glasses.
Yeah.
And we would just start going around digging and smashing open rocks.
That's amazing.
And you could
Yeah.
only do it seasonally too. There was like a time
Oh.
frame when you could do it. So
So that was kind of cool. So I came across those pictures, and there's like this, like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a cave,
yeah,
but remember we were walking that road.
yeah, Diamond Point Cave. Yeah,
Is it
there-
a cave?
Yeah, it is a cave.
Okay.
Yeah,
But remember the tree? So there was a
the
tree.
symbol.
There was a tree along the road, and I called it the butt crack tree.
We're like, once you get to the butt crack tree, you know you're going in the right direction.
So you turn onto the butt crack tree road, and that would take you to the little cave back there. So
Yeah.
as long as you can find that, if you can find your butt.
If you could find the butt, you're on the
Yeah.
right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are always some of the really fun times with the kids. Like, they loved exploring. I remember there was one time, I can't remember how old Jay was, but we were hiking, whatever, and he just, like, stumbles across this rack of antlers.
Yeah.
And Brian's like, here I am camping my whole life, and I've never found antlers. And Jay's like, oh, look what I found. These awesome antlers. I was
Right.
like, what the heck? That
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah, that Diamond Point one, I found it was from 2013.
Oh, okay.
It was May. So.
Yeah, that's quite a bit ago.
Yeah. And there's just been some other cool things. I do remember the night, I think you guys were talking about it before, where they're doing, I called it Ninja Night.
Oh, Camp Ninja.
Camp
Camp
Ninja.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're just so you know, Christy, this is Hannah's idea. We're thinking of bringing back Camp Ninja.
Camp
this
Ninja!
trip. We need some motion censored lights though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what it was we had these motion sensor lights, and they were set up around the camp, and the boys were like trying to sneak up to like the camper without
Yeah.
triggering it.
That's amazing.
So they're crawling on the ground. They're going all these different routes.
I did the course too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was just probably sitting there drinking beer.
I did the
laughing,
course.
So.
Yeah, there was this long log too. Like, I remember I snuck behind it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm getting to the point without setting any of these lights off, because if the light went off, you had to freeze, and you're like, oh, you got caught. And next person's turn." It was like the most fun thing
That's
ever.
amazing. We should do that again.
Yeah, so this trip I want to bring back like some of the favorites with Jay, and on that topic, like, he was one of the most. I realize it may have come from me, but he is so competitive. Cards, frisbee, even just hanging his hammock. I remember him and my cousin's son were like, I can hang it higher. No, I can hang it. Every time you look back, the hammocks went like another foot higher. And at some point, I'm like, you're going to need to stand on top of the truck to get inside
Right.
of that hammock. But yeah, he was pretty competitive, especially with frisbee golf. Like, he had his own set frisbee. He was like, he usually went first because we go youngest to oldest. So he was typically the youngest. So he was just like all on top of that and ready to go.
So you said at one point you made like personalized camping shirts, and yours was the firewood. What was Jay's?
Oh my goodness.
Because I know yours was Brian's was shooting, right?
Yeah.
Shooting, sleeping, and fire.
And and he had the campfire in the middle, and I want to say Jay's was, oh shoot,
It's really a long time.
I know Hannah had a horse on hers and a book for reading.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay had a Lego guy because he loved Legos. And I want to say the second one, oh man, what was it? I want to say it was like a car or something because he did like to bring his race car, like his remote control car. And then he also played with the boys at the time, had these big Tonka trucks.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, oh, bring on the mud because the boys in the Tonka trucks was like.
Did he have a metal one or a plastic one?
So I think he started with a plastic and then we upgraded him to a metal
Those
one.
metal ones ended up being hard to find.
Yes, they were very rare.
Yeah, I tried it. It took me a long time to find one for Reese, and finally it was at a garage sale.
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely special edition.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man. So I remember at one point you did get Jay a pocket knife because he had his name engraved on that. But like he just loved all the tools and trinkets and things, and it was like, you know, let's carve a stick. Let's do this. You know, to go. He even did the shooting. I remember one time you had a course built out for us, and you were timing the kids like, get there, shoot that, run back, and he took that very seriously. It's funny.
Yeah, I did come across those photos, and it was you and him in them.
Yeah.
And you were running the course and shooting.
Of course.
And he was behind you, like, watching and stuff. Like, following you
awesome.
along. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, or it was about I know you've mentioned before with Reese and totally Jay. I don't know how many wooden sticks that look like gums or guns.
Yeah.
And I found a photo, so we'll have to post that. But there was like a whole table. It was like every hour he was bringing back more and more and more. I'm like, what are we going to do with all these? So, yeah.
Prepared for that imaginary war.
Yeah. And again, remember how I mentioned Christy had never heard of what a horsey tree was, but that was one of the favorite things too.
A horsey tree. You guys are so funny.
We're going to show you a horsey tree this next trip, but that was another thing. It was like, well, let's get on this horsey tree or whatever. And we would do the swings from the tree, and he loved doing that, or building the race tracks for the remote control car or the bikes, and that would take up your whole camp trip. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's amazing.
but
How did he like his marshmallows?
ooh, I mean, in his mouth.
It didn't matter. All of them all at once.
Yeah, he ate. I kid you not. Even since when he was a baby, it was like, I don't know if you ever experienced this with Reese, but I know with Hannah, it was like I had to give her a bite of the sweet stuff and then slip in the veggies or whatever, like with the baby food. He didn't care what it was, as long as it was going in his mouth. He would eat everything. I mean, obviously he ate glass, but yeah, he definitely loved the marshmallows and the hot dogs so much that it made him sick. And yeah.
Yeah, you remember that time?
Oh. Hang your head out of the tent.
Yeah.
Get him out of the tent.
Oh my God.
You do not want to throw up in your sleeping bag.
No.
That stuff just never comes out right. Oh, man. I remember something funny like Jay. So we'd camp with my cousins all the time. And so he just naturally, the kids would call my cousin Uncle Brian versus, because he was a cousin, but he was so much older. It was like, this is my uncle. And then we had to keep telling him, like, he's not your uncle, but he's your cousin. But at one point we were like, whatever, let him just call him that. And then when he gets old enough, we'll explain. This is kind of funny.
Do they still call him Uncle Brian?
Once in a while, we'll pull that out. Oh,
That's
man.
amazing.
So even as like Jay got older and there were times he didn't camp with us, in a way, he was still at camp, because there was one time that I think it was one of the first times we went camping without him, and he was old enough to be home and whatnot. And we get this call first of all, how do you get calls in the middle of forest? Very rare. Well, this call came through, and it was Jay, and I was like, what? Why is he calling me? It was 9:00 at night. So of course my heart sank and my stomach was like in knots. Like, what is he calling about? He's like, Mom. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, where's the waffle maker? And I was like, do you not realize you just gave me a heart attack to find out where the waffle maker was? It's in the pantry. Okay, bye. Okay.
To be fair, waffles are pretty serious.
I see that, and I was just like, this is crazy.
I wonder if that was one of the times that he snuck his motorcycle into the house.
Oh my goodness.
In the house?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't find out about this till just probably earlier this year.
Yeah.
But
From Hannah.
no, and from Hannah, and I don't know if I told you, but there's pictures on his phone.
I think you did tell me that.
Oh, God.
Well, I just remember we were out of town one time, and he sends me a meme.
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
It was a motorcycle, like inside of a house or apartment.
Someone else's.
Yeah, it wasn't his. And he's like, if they're cold, or if you're cold, they are cold. Like, bring them inside.
Yeah.
And I responded by saying, oh, is that your motorcycle in your apartment? So it was probably that weekend, I bet.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Because, then later, like, of course, now we have the rights to look at his photos because I'm like, I need to see every memory or whatever. But
Yeah.
what? I'm like, I know he had, like, muscles and stuff from working on the gym. I'm like, he carried that thing inside the house.
No, you didn't carry it.
Well, still.
Yeah.
He had to get it up over the ledge somehow. Whatever. It's like, how can you be mad at him? I'm like, I can't. I just have to laugh about it because that's never going to happen again. But for you, Christy,
Kind of things to look forward
some
to.
things to look out for when if Reese gets a motorcycle.
He's already, I mean, it's already bad if he'll ride his scooter, his skateboard, and I'm like, we're upstairs too. I'm like, you can't do that. And then he's got his little race car out and he's like drifting it. And I'm like, you gotta stop. Stop.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, Brian, you can bring a male perspective to camping because Mandy and I think we talk a lot about like what we do to prep and prepare. What are you working on for the camp trip, or when you're going camping? I should say, what does like your to-do list look like?
Oh, that's a good question. So I'm the weekend before, I'll always go to our trailer and I'll get that plugged in and make sure that the coach batteries are getting charged. And then also making sure that the fridge starts cooling down.
Cold beer is a must.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, and I tease a guy at work, but ice cream sandwiches.
Oh, I know
Gotta
Mandy's
have your
always
ice
like, you
cream.
wanted ice cream?
I'm like, it's kind of has its perks having its freezer.
That's like the only reason why I need a trailer right now so I can bring ice cream with
Right?
me.
If it's hot, yeah, for sure.
So I'll get that going. Then I'm also looking at, hey, what do I have to do with the truck?
Right.
Get the right hitch on it and get the tire air pressure up.
Yeah.
Tire air pressure up on the trailer, making sure that's all good.
Yeah. How many tires in total is that?
Too many?
It's 11.
11?
Tires,
Yeah.
counting the spares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just making sure they're all good.
Yeah.
And then when I pick up the trailer, if I have that extra water in the tanks, I'll dump that because I store it with some water in there.
Yeah.
And then the truck, just making sure, the oil change is all good.
And don't forget about the wood. If he needs to go to the local
Get the
wood
wood.
yard, he'll get some nice lumber for our fires and the ice chests, fill those up with ice,
Yep.
all that stuff.
So,
One-
just make sure all stuff's all good and all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing Jay used to help out a lot with was, the generator. Because I'm like, I can't lift that thing. But but Brian and Jay would always do the generator. Since then, we do have a smaller one, which is a little bit more manageable. But definitely that, because if we want to run the coffee maker.
Which we need.
I know.
I always thought about that. I'm like, I always kind of complained about my to-do list, right? But then I'm like, at least I don't have to be outside and it's like hot out there.
Yeah. I know.
Well, I guess I got to load up the water in the trailer.
Yeah.
The water in the trailer, the
Water.
extra water we bring.
Yep.
So there's all those little things like that. Make sure the other batteries, the solar batteries are charged.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So is there like one thing, especially with this trip coming up, that you're like, ooh, I want to do that kind of in honor of Jay? Like something specifically you're like, let's do that for him. I know for me, it's like all the games because he's so competitive and I was, and
We're going to do like a tournament thing.
that's kind of what I'm wanting to do. If I can whip that up in my head and get a poster board or something, I think we need to do call it like the J tournament or something.
Yeah. I liked your idea of, like you said, like bringing something to kind of write down a
Yeah.
like a signature board or something.
Yeah. So I decided I got some fancy paper, and I have people write a memory or just something on there, and that way I can add it to his memory book that I have. So at least we have something of the 1 year to kind of just commence that day. So yeah, for sure.
So
I was thinking about like we just get a mobile tattoo person up there, and we could all get J tattoos or something.
Now you're talking my language.
I mean, there's several people here that are already like, "Well, my next tattoo."
I know Hannah's already got
I
one
know.
done.
I go. So yeah, that'd be fun, and I'm excited because some of his friends might come up, and it does feel weird to be like camping with his friends without him, but in a way, I feel like it's a cool way to celebrate his life. So. Yeah. And we probably shouldn't launch rockets in the forest. I thought about that, and I was like, there's a lot of fire hazard potential there. So
And we'll probably never catch that parachute.
I know.
Reese might
Yeah.
chase it down.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'll bring BMO. I'm not sure how it will last, but I think that would be a cool thing to bring. So.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Well, cool. We're so glad that we had Bonus Brian on for our bonus episode, and we're going to be releasing this October 6th.
Yeah.
So you guys need to listen in. And
Yeah, we won't be
listen
here.
up.
We'll be out camping, but you guys should stay here and listen.
That's right. So we hope you guys camp too, but just not next to us. I'm just kidding.
Not too close.
Unless they bring ice cream, right?
Or beer.
Ice cream, beer, and firewood. Well, cool. Well, make sure you guys visit us at I'd rather be camping with a K.com and visit us on Instagram. Of course, you can listen on all kinds of platforms on our website. We list all those host platforms. So yeah, just check us out, and cool. Keep camping.
Keep camping.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.